know how long this took me? Do you know how complicated this is? Even if I stop wearing it, I'm gonna just put it on the wall as a piece of art. It's gonna be amazing. Hi, welcome to Capital K Knitting. My name is Bethany, and this is about Clue 4 for Shawlography. I finally got it finished, and I'm so glad to be able to show you. So this is it. It's really big. It's really, really wide. The wingspan is really wide. I have videos about all of Clue 1, which is up to these I-cord shrimp loops here. And then I have another video about Clue 2, which is all the way here, right before the brioche section there. Then I have another video about Clue 3, which is the brioche and the crisscrosses here. And of course, that means that now we're into Clue 4. And I made a couple of modifications to Clue 4. The only thing I modified before Clue 4 were some color choices. And honestly, that's not really a modification, I feel like, because Stephen West just says you can do what you want around colors. In fact, he says you can do what you want around a lot of things, but one of the options for the shawl is when you finish Clue 3, if you're all done, you can just bind off after the crisscrosses. But I wanted to find a way that I liked the border. For those of you who follow me on Instagram or watched the Clue 3 video, I was conflicted about whether I even liked the border or not. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people replaced it with another border. But I saw Mitochondrio Knits, and she did this scalloped edge, and I really liked it. So thank you for sharing that on so publicly, because she just put like exactly what she did on it. So helpful. So I will link her post in the description box so that you can go to it if you are also not done with your shawlography yet and want to do an edge like this. So I really liked the welts that were in Clue 2, these green welts. I thought those were so fun, and so I added another set of them here right before the border because I thought they looked really nice. The blue yarn is thinner yarn than the rest of the shawl, and so I kind of wish the welts were poofier, but the color choice I chose, the yarn choice that I made, wasn't conducive to that. So I think in the future I'll need to keep that in mind, that if I'm doing like a welt factor, that it's better for it to be a little plumper. And then so got those welts on there. I was planning on, after the welts, doing the eyelet option he has for the brioche section. You can do the brioche section, but he also has a non-brioche option, and I thought it would be cool to have like both in there, but by the time I finished the welts, I was like, no, this border is gonna take me so long, I'm not gonna do that. So I decided not to. And so you can see that he kind of has you build out here so that you're able to change direction. And then you just knit these stripes back and forth. So we knit all the way across, and then in the pattern, it's just the edge is straight across. And since I did a scalloped edge, it was really fun. But also, since it's straight across in the pattern, for like the red here would have been the end of the border. So it would have been like straight across, and then it would have just sloped off. And I didn't like that because this corner is all built up here, and I thought, what are we doing? Like, why did we do that? And then we're just gonna slope it off here. I didn't like that as much. So what I did is instead of closing the gap down here, he just has you close that with a Kitchener. I just continued with the pattern and did my I-cord bind off up this way, and when I finished the last scallop, I Kitchenered it here. So technically this is like a little corner here, but I think the next time I block it, I'm gonna try and block this out a little straighter so that that's not, I don't know, it's not a bad thing, but I think it would look better if it was like that, you know? I really like it. I'm not sure, I think it was a good choice to switch this mauve pink out for this deep red. I wish I had chosen that in the first place. I kind of second guessed myself and thought it would all be too dark if I stayed with if I used the red all over the place, but I was already into the red by the end of clue 1. And so I wish I had just gone with my gut on that. I did not rip anything back because of a color choice at all. In fact, I love the way that the construction is. This sunburst is like one of my favorite parts. And actually, I am kind of bummed that it's not as visible when it's being worn. I think it's really great for those of you who are still working on it or haven't worn yours yet. One of the things that's really great about it is when you put it on, especially if you're wearing it as like a blanket scarf or something like that, it's not so overwhelming. There's like bits of texture that you see, so even if you just like wrap it around, like you just put it on like a regular scarf, right? I've got a lot of border going on there, but like I lose a lot of it, right? I lose a lot of the shawl just being tucked in there. So this is one of my favorite parts, and it's fun, you know, but it's not the same as it being all spread out. So I actually really like being able to see a lot of the texture. So I've been wearing it kind of like off center and letting the border be super drapey on the side, which is fun. I'm on the 6th floor, and so it sounds really windy up here. So I'll tuck it like that, and then there's like this longer drapey part here. I was not done with it by the time I went to a Christmas party that I wanted it to be done for. I probably had, I think I was here when it was time to go to the party. So I just put these stitches and the rest of these stitches on some waste yarn and just tucked it under and wore it to the party because it worked. And I really love being able to wear it. I've been wearing it with like cute stuff, but I've also been wearing it around my, like when I'm just wearing my pajamas because it's warm and I finally have something made of wool to wrap around my body. It is really motivating me to cast on those sweaters that I have the yarn set aside for at home when I get back, because being able to throw this around my shoulders in the morning and even just like around the house has been so nice. It's been so nice. I used almost, well, 4 out of my 6 colors that I used were knitted wit minis, and that was because when I cast on, it was late at night on October 8th when the first clue dropped, and I just wanted to be able to cast this baby on. And so I grabbed a couple of I grabbed this blue And then the mauve pink one, those were 100-gram skeins. But the other 4 were just minis that I had in my stash. And I thought, oh, I'll just go back to my yarn store and get more of them, you know, when I need them. Oh, no, not a great idea, because a couple of times I went in there and they just had one more left of it. So thankfully I was able to finish it, but not a great idea. Not a great idea. But it's done, and it's great. And yeah, I think I will just wrap it around my shoulders all the time. It's just so nice to be able to be so cozy with it. And even as I was knitting it, I would lay it across my legs because it was really warm. So it was a really good experience, and there were ups and downs, there were highs and lows, definitely. But I think it is totally worth the time that I put into it. We were laughing the other day because my husband said, he was just asking me, like, how long have you been knitting on that and everything? And I said, oh, a long time, and I'm gonna wear it all the time now. And I said, wouldn't it be funny if the kids, when they grow up, are like, you remember that ugly scarf mom used to wear all the time? And I'm gonna have to just look them in the eyes and be like, hey, that was super complicated and it grew so much, and you don't get to say that. If you are knitting the Shawlography still, let me know what clue you're on, because I want to cheer you on. It can be kind of a slog at different points, especially the border. Oh my goodness, the border slowly murdered me. And if you are finished with yours, I would love to see it. So feel free to tag me on Instagram, or even let me know if you have a podcast here on YouTube, because I'd love to see your version of the Shawlography. I think it was really fun to be in community with people about it, and I know a lot of people are still knitting theirs. So if you are one of those people, good job, you're doing great, and I am excited for you to be able to wear your beautiful shawl. And yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap myself up in this and go to bed.